'Cause I have a greater mission.
As things change, I remain the same. Trying to keep sane. Stuck in this struggle, trying to gain.
'Cause I have a greater mission. I hope that you listen.
What's going on, everybody? Deacon here, and by the title of the video, yes, you see it says that who should come first in a man's life, 2019 edition. I actually did this video back in 2016, but there were a few things that I noticed differently, good, bad, and some things that kind of had me scratching my head. But before I get into that, let me first mention that if I answered this question publicly, my answer would easily be, it depends on the man and where he is in his life. And I say that because depending on the experiences that the man had and what he wants to do in life will determine who's even in his life, which one will come first. But if you are someone in that situation where you got all four of them, then to be honest, I don't even know how I would answer that, because that's not something I relate to. And I'm not going to sit here and act like that I know what I would do or what I would say if I was in that situation. Something else too, I noticed the difference between 2016 and 2019 when I saw this post on a different Facebook page, because 2019 it's a Facebook page I saw called Dads on Duty. But the differences I saw between the two was back in 2016, it was unanimously wife, daughter, and then after that it was mom, and then people only mentioned baby mama as a joke. While now the gap between wife and daughter closed drastically, which told me a lot. Not only that, some people still mention moms, and I actually saw, well, 2 comments on this Facebook page, but then 1 on Twitter where people actually said that, hey, your baby mama might come first, because if she's, you know, looking out and taking care of your child or your children, the better she does, the better it'll be an environment for your children. So I thought that was interesting, because like I said, nobody mentioned that in the Facebook post that I saw back in 2016. One thing that was, though, had me scratching my head was some people attacked or insulted others for having an opinion or answer different than their own. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I can understand how somebody will say something that'll kind of leave you scratching your head or wondering why would they say something like that. But instead of asking for clarity as to why they mentioned what they mentioned, they took their own experience and kind of shoved in a person's face, you know, that you're an idiot or you're a fool, or how can you say something dumb like this? Oh, I'm glad that y'all didn't raise me. And here's what I mean by that, because this ties into my personal response. My personal response is the same as it was in 2016. My wife comes first. But now I know in this day and age, I will have to give context to that answer, because years ago, saying something like that because of how the family structure traditionally was, or I'll say was, how the family structure traditionally was and the order of things, that people had an understanding what you meant by that. But because that's not necessarily the case anymore, people kind of are baffled by that. And here's what I mean. When people were saying that they would put their wife first, one of the comments I kept seeing people say was, so what are you trying to say? That if you only have a little bit of food left in the house, or you had to save somebody in your family, you would choose your wife over your children? And I'm sitting there reading this comment thinking to myself, like,
What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it?
To me, that doesn't make sense, because first of all, me choosing the woman that I chose and us communicating and talking, we understand that the needs of our children obviously come first. If there's only a little bit of food left in the house because of the decisions that me and her have made together, because we are a team, we work together, of course the needs of our children always come first. Now, once, that's a little bit debatable, because we don't always have to give our children what they want, but we always make sure their needs are taken care of. And on top of that, their needs are not just limited to food, clothing, and shelter. The type of environment that my wife and I make, because of how we get along, how we work on our marriage, and how we make sure that our marriage is strong, our children see that. They see how we interact with each other, both when things are good and even when we're mad at each other, how we interact and how we talk to each other and how we solve differences. They're paying attention to that, because these are all mental notes that they're taking, that when they go out and they move out, these are things that they're going to carry into their own relationship. And you're looking at somebody that, I came from a broken home where I was raised by a single parent father, and my mom was the one that kind of rolled out. So there were some residual effects that I felt from that, opposed to my wife, whose parents were married for 53 years and were literally together till her father passed away. So we came from different backgrounds, but because we had that one goal in mind and understand the importance of our relationship, our decision making, and everything that we do. So no, if my wife and children fall into an alligator pit and they can either only save my children or save my wife, she already know what the deal is. We would tell them to go for the kids and she work it out, and vice versa. If me and my girls fall in the alligator pit and they gotta choose between the girls or me, of course my wife's gonna choose the children, because I wouldn't have married her had she thought or would say otherwise. So when I would see people say that and attack people for it, that's what I didn't understand. Because don't get me wrong, I understand that there are trash cans out here imitating humans, where for the sake of a relationship they can and have neglected their children. So I understand that those people are out there, but I would hope to believe more on the good than the bad, that people who say that, and people who say that they will put their spouse first in a situation like that, that they mean as far as decision making, things that they do for the children. Also, for me personally, I've seen people who were married, but not only the needs, wants, and decision making was all based around the child and what they wanted for the child and what the child wanted, that the significant other, got neglected. And now they're divorced. Some people just feel like just because you feel strongly about a certain emotion or view things a certain way, or because of your certain experience, that everything is just that way. But I also learned too that things can happen in relationships. If, me and my wife get divorced, or she passed away, then of course the priority and hierarchy would change. But see, I already made the decision in my mind personally that if my wife passed away at a time where I'm still young enough to get married, or even if we got divorced at a time where I'm still young enough to remarry, I'm done. Like, this is it. Because I tell people, and like I said, this is personal. I tell people my wife is 4 inches short of perfection. Like, everything I wanted in a wife, I got it, except for she's 4 inches short. But I don't say that too much because she gets mad when I say that. But I'm being dead serious. So if things didn't work out between us or she passed away, for me personally, I'm done. Nobody will ever have to worry about me running out here getting remarried or anything like that, because I got what I asked for, I got what I wanted, and I'm content. So I ain't out here looking for anything else. So I would be okay if I lived the rest of my life single or as a widower if it wasn't with the woman that I'm currently married to now. I know I'm kind of going off subject about who should come first in a man's life, but this does not mean, like I said once again, that our daughters are not our first priority, but we are a team. Plus also, if you think of the natural order of things, my kids, once they get older, should they choose to get married and have a family, their families become their number one priority. That's why even when you look at who should come first in a man's life, not too many people are saying the mom, because they understand the order of things. When my children move out, their family should become their priorities. Yeah, I don't want them to forget about mom and dad and, still come and visit us if they're able and, so on and so forth. But they should be moving out to then repeat the process where their family becomes their priority. You shouldn't be over mom and dad's house, all the time. That is, unless they're single and they don't have any other responsibilities other than themselves, and then they're coming over, eating up my food and things of that nature. But that's usually the mindset that goes into people who say that the wife would come first. That if they are mature and a responsible adult, that it doesn't mean that you would neglect your children to only take care of and love your wife. Like, some of us out here are capable of multitasking. I guess a lot of people, based on some of these comments that I saw, they're not, or because of their lack of experience, they can't see beyond their own experiences, which is also possible, because I've been there. I've been that person before. But sometimes experiences and other things in life and other perspectives will help you understand where people are coming from, even if you don't agree with it. That's not an excuse to start bashing people and talking trash about people just because you don't get it. I'll admit, when I saw some of them comments, it did make me upset, but it didn't make me upset enough to comment about it, because these are random people on the internet that I'm not gonna see anyway. In all honesty, when it boils down to it, at the end of the day, what you do in your household and what you choose to do in your household is your business. This post that came out is nothing than asking your opinion anyway, because if somebody gets upset at my answer and my explanation in this video, who cares? You're not raising my family. And even if you say that I'm glad that a guy like you or your wife are not raising me, I'm glad too, because you'd probably be a problem, because my kids, and I'm very thankful for saying this, my kids for the most part are well behaved. They don't embarrass me when we go out. They know not to act a fool at certain times. Are they still children and immature? Absolutely. And will they still do things as they get older and maybe even mess up? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I'm thankful for the children I have. And even if you feel sorry for my kids, they don't feel sorry for you, because they don't know who you are. But anyway, that's it. You can leave any comments that you want to leave in the comment section below. I'm here for it, that we can, you know, discuss what we want to discuss, because see, I understand that depending on a person's experiences and what they've been through would dictate their answer, whether it's this particular topic or any topic. That's why I try to seek understanding, that even if I don't relate to it, I at least try to gain some level of understanding so I can have an understanding of where they're coming from, instead of just bashing them and saying that's a stupid way to think about life or to do things because it's not the way that I see it or the way I think it should be done, because that's a narrow-minded type of thinking. And that's why you see a lot of people angry on the internet at each other, going back and forth now, because they can't see beyond their own reflection in the mirror of what they're going to do or what the world should be. But anyway, but anyway, let me stop, because I'm going into a whole different topic and a whole different video. But that's all I have for you all. So as always, be wise, and until I see you all next time, have a great day.